A clueless Democratic congressional candidate filmed herself destroying her husband's AR-15 to show her support for gun control. However, as soon as she began cutting the firearm, her pathetic political stunt backfired in the most ironically satisfying way. After recording herself destroying her husband's AR-15 rifle, Democratic congressional candidate Karen Mallard pictured realized she had made a serious mistake. Photo credit, screenshot, Karen Mallard for Congress, Facebook. Despite the facts proving that far more guns are used to save innocent than take them, that more restrictive legislation does not decrease gun violence, and that 98% of all mass shootings take place in gun-free zones. Liberals continue to demand gun control after every media-publicized shooting. Perhaps the worst aspect of their anti-Second Amendment campaign is that they addedly flaunt the disturbing ignorance on firearm-related issues, especially when it comes to scary-looking types of guns and the possible modifications. With each new bill, liberals move one step closer to their ultimate goal of completely disarming law-abiding citizens, leaving only the government with the power our forefathers intended to protect us from tyranny. Unfortunately for one staunch Democrat, she discovered what happens when you mix ignorance of firearms with liberal government regulations. As part of her bleeding heart liberal campaign for Virginia's 2nd Congressional District, Democratic candidate and former teacher Karen Mallard set up a video camera capturing herself demolishing her husband's AR-15 rifle in a political stunt to push her illogical gun control stance. Proving her ignorance of not only firearms but also the law, Mallard foolishly recorded and published herself sawing off the barrel of the AR, prompting the Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives to open an investigation for illegally modifying a firearm, according to WVEC. I took a personal stand for gun safety and I'm not backing down. A staffer took down this video to try to protect me from these vicious comments, but I'm not the one that needs protection, our children do. And yes, for all the NRA trolls out there, I finished the job according to regulation and turned it over to the police. Why are you more outraged about me taking a gun out of circulation than about our children being murdered in our schools? Thanks for listening and sharing. We need gun reform now. Even more terrifying is that she wants to influence her state's legislation, which would solely be based on her misunderstanding of guns, our constitutional rights, and the law. Undoubtedly, Mallard only has her fickle emotions upon which to base her political agenda. Of course, Mallard isn't just some emotional housewife who got a wild head to run for office and destroy her husband's means of protecting the household. She's been a teacher for 30 years. That's right. Mallard has been molding the minds of susceptible young people for at least 3 decades. In fact, it's her former career that she's using as a platform for her bizarre and already controversial campaign. Our job is to teach children. It's not to protect them from gun violence. That is the government's job, and they're failing at it, said Mallard. I grew up in Wise County, surrounded by guns. Our family had guns my whole life. We use them for hunting, for protection, and recreation, Mallard says in the video as she introduces herself. So, today, we're going to destroy it, Mallard adds before taking a handheld power saw to the rifle. However, Mallard's post not only earned her a call from the ATF, it garnered over 1.75 million views and more than 32,000 comments, nearly all of which pointed out her hypocrisy, stupidity, and criminal activity. Many of those comments were negative. Some people accused Mallard of political grandstanding. Several others said Mallard broke federal law by taking a legal firearm and altering it, making it into an illegal one. Many of them referred to details contained within the Sawed-Off Shotgun and Sawed-Off Rifle Act, which in part prohibits people, except for those permitted by the Act, from having a rifle that has been modified to an overall length of less than 26 inches. In a futile bid to spare herself further embarrassment, Mallard childishly labeled her critics NRA trolls, and admitted that she turned the firearm over to the police. According to WTKR, Mallard actually believes that she's taking a personal stand for gun safety by destroying her husband's rifle. We own the gun, so we destroyed it and took it straight to the police department and dropped it off. I wanted there to be one less gun and to do something about gun violence, said Mallard. Expectedly, the Virginia Beach Police Department confirmed that Mallard had turned the rifle over to their officers. However, this meant little to the ATF, which confirmed that Mallard is still being investigated for possible felony activity. Like a true liberal, Mallard wants to make laws concerning firearms without even having a basic knowledge of laws concerning firearms. Yet before even securing a political career, she's already filmed herself committing a felony. She'll fit right in with her fellow Democratic legislators. The only way that Mallard's actions could have done anything to help the potential victims of gun violence is if either she or her husband planned to shoot innocent civilians or carelessly store the firearm in a manner that could land it in the hands of an evil person. If not, she has merely made herself and her household a target for those who wish to do harm. The main reason emotional stunts like Mallard's display do more harm than good is that it promotes taking firearms solely out of the hands of law-abiding citizens. No evil person who wishes to use the gun to harm innocent civilians is going to follow in Mallard's footsteps. In fact, criminals love it when people like Mallard do away with their only means of self-defense. Follow us on Facebook,